Oh, hi, podcast listeners. There's many ways you can listen to the Real Nerds podcast. You can subscribe on iTunes. You can also subscribe on Stitcher Radio. You want to send us a Twitter message? You can do that. It's so easy, at Real Nerds. Like us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com, where there'll be a lot of articles for you to not only read, but to listen to our previous shows. Do you like your stories told through pictures? Then you can also follow us at Real Nerds on Instagram. You can also call us, 720-6nerds5. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Camera, action!
Well, a real nerd knows who shot, and a real nerd can follow the plot, and a real nerd can...
talk film! I'm sorry.
Take it outside.
Well, a real nerd knows who shot, and a real nerd can follow the plot, and a real nerd will give it all they got. Lights, camera, action! Real nerds.
This is Real Nerds Podcast, the best movie podcast on the internet. I am Ryan, joined with bass voice Brad.
Hey.
Sounds great.
Yep. Still sick from last week.
Yeah. I hope it's not like what I had. I literally had no voice for like 10 days.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long. Like it's coming back, but yeah, I think all last week when I was working at the Bug, I was just like, "Hi, how are you doing?"
I know. It's really impressive in my job when I have to talk to people. I'm like, "Hey, stop!"
Put the gun
it gets people to laugh, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, this guy."
You're under arrest.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
You have the right to remain
but then
silent.
your voice cracks at a point, so it sounds even worse. You're like, "Hey, let me see your hands." Just really cool stuff. Every week we see a new movie and we podcast our experience to the world. This week we saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Stay tuned where we will recommend the film or not, play the trailer, then spoil it. We also touch on the big movie news story and things we've been watching. We did do a Zelda thing, but you're way further along than I am.
Yeah.
I fell behind because my wife is working overnights, so I'm like a single dad who doesn't have someone to help him.
You gotta get sick like me, so you're just like bedridden and be like, I can't cough all over people's groceries, so I guess I have to play Zelda.
I know I'm super jelly.
Yeah, I'm so far along now. It's crazy.
You bastard. But I'm glad.
I literally was in a boss fight before we did this podcast.
Did you win?
Yeah, it was a bitch though.
Okay, because if you didn't win, I was going to call you a bitch ass motherfucker.
No, I did die once, but the second time, it's a Master Koga, and he's like on this boat that he made with these two archers, and he's just scuttling around this pond, and you have to chase him and also dodge the arrows that are constantly flying at you. And I was, I luckily beforehand I went and cooked a bunch of meals, so I ate most of them trying to. The thing is, like, he's usually so far away from you, like you have to jump off your raft, swim over to him while he's knocked out, and by the time you get there, he's already done being knocked out. So it's like just find the right amount of distance to get close to him so you can knock the shit out of him with a hammer or something.
Yeah, did you I got an update from Amazon too that the guides are delayed a month.
Yeah. Such as reservations. That's how it goes.
Bastards.
I know.
I got
really
my
need
Super Mario still. Yeah, I know. Fuck. I got my Super Mario Steel book today, and then it wasn't supposed to come out until next week. So
nice.
Whatever.
Best Buy's on it.
Yeah, I even ordered it for pickup because you weren't able to order it. Then I got an alert. Well, actually, I didn't get an alert. I went and ordered. Well, from you, I got an alert. The Spider-Man Steelbook. So when I bought that, it says people also like Super Mario, and it said pick up today. And this was like, yesterday after they were closed. And so I did, and I still went and picked it up today, and they definitely didn't have them out on the floor. So
Nice.
win for me. Anyways, this week we saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Brad, do you recommend the next Spider-Verse movie?
Boy, oh boy, I didn't think the animation could get that much better, and wow, it's incredible. The story is a little like stretched out because it's like a 2.5 hour thing. Doesn't feel like 2.5 hours, but it's I recently rewatched the original, and just kind of the pace and the mood is so different. But overall, it's an incredible feat of animation. They really up their game on this new version.
Yeah, this movie is incredible to look at. One of the highlights for me is Spider-Punk, where his animation is like those old, like 1980s punk posters.
Yeah.
It is pretty impressive, and the way they integrated it all. Again, it has to be a really bad Spider-Man movie for me not to love it. So of course I loved this movie. You should go out and see it. Here's a trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
My name is Miles Morales. I'm Brooklyn's one and only Spider-Man. And things are going great.
Oh yeah, you were supposed to be here at 5.
All right, whatever.
Whatever?
Wow.
Whatever?
So are you like a cow or a Dalmatian?
I am the Spot. That's not funny.
Don't do that.
Miles's grades are pretty good. A in AP Physics.
That's my little man.
And a B in Spanish.
What?
Ooh, okay.
Miles.
Are you trying
Mira,
to
eso es
kill me,
imposible.
I gotta go. All right, bye.
He's lying to you. And I think you know it.
What's up, danger?
Miles! Wanna get out of here?
Oh, when? So wait a minute. There's an elite crew with all the best spider people in it?
Who's the new guy?
This is unbelievable.
This is the lobby. Miguel O'Hara. The whole thing was his idea.
What's a guy gotta do to join this spider team?
You can never be part of this.
Don't even get me started on Doctor Strange and the little nerd back on Earth 1999-99.
Come on, go easy on the kid. He had a terrible teacher.
Peter!
Miles!
Mayday. You have a baby?
I have a baby.
I'll take it from here. Miles, being Spider-Man is a sacrifice. You have a choice between saving one person and saving every world.
Send me home.
I can't do that.
I can do both! Spider-Man always...
Not always.
What about Uncle Ben?
If not for Uncle Ben, most of us wouldn't be here.
Can't stop me now!
You can't run forever, kid.
I can't lose one more friend.
Miguel, this isn't what we talked about.
You knew?
I have no idea what you're doing.
Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
All stations, stop Spider-Man.
You? What, me?
And then I looked at my uncle and...
Let me guess. He died?
This takes place a year after the last Spider-Man Miles Morales story. And he is, dealing with not seeing Gwen or Peter anymore because at the end of the last movie, the Super Collider sent everybody back kind of where they where they belong. And he has to navigate lying to his parents about being Spider-Man. But you know what I really loved about this film, though, is that the first 20, 30 minutes was all Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, it's kind of a Spider-Gwen movie.
Yeah, it gives you like her backstory. And you know, when I took my wife, she mentioned afterwards that she loved the watercolor background in Gwen's world and how it would change moods depending on the scene.
Yeah, when she's
Sometimes
talking
while
to her, yeah, when she's talking to her dad, like it's you know, it's sad, so it's almost like the background's crying.
yeah, and it's just it's incredible. And so just like I mean, in the comic it's the same way. I mean, she doesn't go into the Spider-Verse, but in the comic, just like in this movie, Peter Parker becomes the Lizard and he dies in a fight with Spider-Woman. And when that happens, everyone thinks that she killed him. And when she reveals herself to her father, who's, you know, the captain of the police force, he believes that Spider-Woman's responsible and he's going to take her in. So she runs away with the Spider People, which is Jessica Drew and Spider-Man 2099. And even like that Vulture in that's from like, I don't know, the 1400s, had a really cool design to him.
Yeah.
He's all like paper and
even Gwen went
it's
like
like
like, what are you made out of paper? Paper? What's going on here?
Yeah, it's just really cool. So she gets recruited. She visits Miles because the Spot makes an appearance, which I have to say, the Spot is a really dorky villain. And what's really cool about this film is he started off that way, where he's kind of a joke. And as he's able to bounce from world to world, he starts getting a little more menacing and a little more scary. And then the end where he's kind of, he looks like Slender Man almost, where he can now just go to any universe that he wants. I thought was a really cool way to use that character because he's a really dorky character in the Spider-Man world.
Yeah,
he's one own... where I remember. Go ahead, sorry.
I was to say he's his own walking multiverse.
Yeah, and it's cool the way they used him because in the original comics he literally throws spots and he punches through them to like punch Spider-Man and stuff. And this one he's using it as portals. When he figures out what his powers can be. And that's what brings Gwen into Miles's world because now she's part of basically like a Spider-Man like special forces where their job is to find anomalies in the multiverse and stop them from happening and make sure that these events that Spider-Man 2099 calls canonical events, I think, if I can remember it right.
Yeah, canon events.
And yeah, so something has to happen or the very fabric of that universe falls apart. And what's cool is so this movie moves really fast, and what's cool is each world has its own kind of creative look to it and feel. Spider-Man India I thought was really funny and really cool looking. The world he was in was kind of like a pop art kind of world. I don't know how to describe it. But he was funny and I loved his like cockiness. He's like a Spider-Man that is too cool for school, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so we learn that an officer has to die. So whether it's Captain George Stacy or Captain Singh in Spider-Man India world, they have to die for these events to happen. And when Miles goes to Spider-Man India's world and he saves Chief Singh, he basically makes the world start to fall apart. He's brought to I forget what they call it, but where all the Spider-Men meet. And he's told by Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara, that, you know, you messed up. You can't stop this from happening. And him being there, he learns that they're also distracting him because Miles' father, who is a police lieutenant, recently got promoted to captain, and he's supposed to die in 2 days. Which sets off a chain of events where Spider-Man 2099 becomes the antagonist and tries to stop Miles from it happening. Yeah, and then it just goes from there. I really like this movie. If I had one little complaint, it's that the other Spider-Men would allow Spider-Man 2099 to be that way and to attack another Spider-Man from trying to save people. That seems really out of character, and especially out of someone like Peter Parker with his little baby now, that he would also allow that to happen. I don't know. Did you read into that? My wife says that they told you that everybody's different, so not everybody's going to have the same values. And I said, shut up.
Yeah, I think things are like the stakes are different when you're dealing with a multiverse, I guess. And you know, it's not just like some villain destroying a building in a city. It's like, okay, this is the fabric for time and space. So maybe you might have some reservations about your values, or I guess when faced with this problem. Because as I was watching, I was like, all these other Spider people are really going to go along with this?
Yeah, I guess and I tried to argue with my wife, and she kept on squashing my argument that so the Peter B. Parker is pretty much the Spider-Man we know. You know what I mean? Besides the Chris Pine one from the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie. To me, the Peter B. Parker kind of represents who Spider-Man is. And for him to go along with it, even though he kind of doesn't, I still was like, man, I don't know about that.
Well, also in the last movie, he was, a depressed, down and out Spider-Man who kind of gave up being Spider-Man, which also isn't in character. Yeah. So, he's fluid as the movie needs him to be. But I also think, he's so distracted with his new life that maybe he's not, paying as close attention to being Spider-Man as he used to,
Yeah, that makes sense. Because he does have that scene with Mary Jane towards the end where she says, he's just like you, but I did really love the scene where Miguel O'Hara is talking to Miles while he's holding him on that train. And Miles is telling him that he doesn't accept not saving people. And I thought that scene was like super powerful because the performances by Oscar Isaac and I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, but the actor who plays Miles is freaking incredible. And so anyways, they do that. Miles thinks he gets away. Gwen goes back to see her dad, or to her world, and she confronts her dad. And what's cool is she realizes, talking to him, that they don't have to die. They just have to stop being police officers, which I thought was kind of a cool little way to beat this and still keep the canon going. And we learned that Miles goes to the wrong universe, and his Uncle Aaron is still alive, and his dad is dead, and he never becomes Spider-Man. And when he never becomes Spider-Man, he becomes the Prowler, and that's where the movie leaves us. I've been reading some things online that people are not happy with how it ends. I'm cool with it. Like, I think they told this.
I don't understand.
That they wanted more of a conclusion to the film.
Really?
But I mean, I already knew there was going to be a second part of it. So
yeah, I liked it. I thought it was like a Back to the Future 2 kind of ending where Marty goes back to Hill Valley and it's all like the dark, distorted version of Hill
Ooh.
Valley.
Oh, I like that poll. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I got from it. So,
it's an incredible film. I mean, fudge.
I mean, there was a point where I was like, where is this movie going for the longest time? And then it got to like the, cliffhanger and everything. I was like, oh man, this is a great cliffhanger. Like, I can't wait to watch the next part. So,
Yeah, but I'm really worried that the second part's not going to make its March release.
yeah.
Because just how intricate it is. And I read on Variety today, or maybe the Hollywood Reporter, that it took them 3 years to animate Spider-Punk. So I don't know.
I'm glad they did because their blending of 2D and 3D animation in these movies is incredible. I was even reading some like posts online where animators just like can't even fathom how they got around doing that or something based on like what they use to animate with.
Oh yeah, it's
apparently super complicated.
I couldn't even. I think that's why they have 3 directors too, is because you need each director to probably focus on a part of the film. So each third of the film is directed by somebody, because each world is so unique and each animation style is so unique that there's so much going on. The live action Venom callback really didn't play very well in my theater. Did people in your theater get it?
I think so. I both screenings I went to weren't like super heavily attended, so I got it.
Yeah, I guess that the lady, but it's cool as the Spider-Man fan that you can see all the different Spider-Men. And even Kellen recognized the video game Spider-Man. And, they had the Spectacular Spider-Man, every Spider-Man is obviously in there.
Yeah. And then they had Donald Glover in there as the Prowler.
Oh yeah. That was a great, callback to Tom Holland's Homecoming Spider-Man. It's just really cool how it tied everything together. Yeah, it's just an awesome movie. Everybody should see it. This is the big movie news story of the week.
It's real news.
So the actors are going on strike too now. So I don't know what's going to happen with movies. I already read that Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2 is shutting down. Some movies, I guess, are going to keep going if they're already in production. I don't know how it works. I don't understand this. We'll see. Because you have some movies, Captain America New World Order changed its title to Captain America Brave New World.
Which I think is better.
A picture of, oh yeah, way better.
Just because everything is tied to that other title.
And Harrison Ford. Yeah.
When it first came out, I was like, also, are you sure you want that one?
Yeah, it seems to fit what's going to happen a little better. So hopefully they figure this out. I don't know. I don't know what the longest strike for writers or actors or directors, because the Directors Guild got a deal done, if I remember right. But I don't know what the longest is or what could happen, and it's going to start impacting a lot of people, and you wonder who's going to blink first,
Mm-hmm.
You hate to say it, but it'd probably be like the writers and the people lower on the totem pole. It would be hotshot movie executives and millionaire guys that are cool with it, because people are still obviously paying for streaming and stuff. So they're still going to have a revenue source.
I think that's what it takes.
So, I don't know.
For people to maybe cancel some of those subscriptions. That'll find other alternatives to entertainment, and not give in to just reality programming and all that. It's hard, but I think that's the way this gets wrapped up faster.
Yeah, I won't talk about what I've been watching, but I started watching the Warner Brothers 100-year documentary they're doing, and it's broken up into parts, and each part is a certain time in the studio's history. And they have that new dude who's, I forget his name, David Zaslav or something, who's the head of them now, part of Discovery, Warner Brothers Discovery, and he's talking about how much he loves movies and stuff. I go, dude, you're full of shit, man. And this is really a really self-serving thing for you, who's barely been in the job for a year, to be touting about the rich history of Warner Brothers. I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, it sounds bad to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool that the rest of the documentary has people like Tom Hanks, George Clooney, Martin Scorsese, Ben Makowitz, all these people Leonard Maltin, the people you expect to be on there who love movies, not a dude who's barely been in there and is removing content. And I don't know. It's just a bad look. But I guess when you're the head of the company, you do what you want.
My favorite movies are the ones that are tax write-offs.
Yeah, no shit. Batgirl, fuck all these people that worked hard on it. It's not just like the actors and the directors and writers. There's literally people that work behind the scenes that they totally fucked over on that stuff,
Yeah.
But I digress. And yeah, that's about it for the news this week. This is things we've been watching.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Brad, what you been up to this week watching wise?
Really not much. Yeah, nothing exciting. I went to the Roku channel has a bunch of 80s and 90s martial arts movies that aren't great. So I just binged all those and played Zelda the whole time. So there's a bunch of Van Damme ones that I've seen before, so I just watched them again, and yeah, nothing exciting.
Sometimes you know what you get with those movies, and it's they might not be great, but are they entertaining? I think is the most important thing.
They're definitely entertaining in a The Room kind of way.
Oh, they're that bad?
Yeah, pretty much. There's definitely a theme of Bloodsport was this thing that hit culturally for that genre.
Yeah.
The last one I watched was something called Blood Fist, which is pretty much the same thing with just different people.
And just one different word.
Yeah. It's a tournament. The main character makes friends with a dude there, and that dude gets beat up by the main rival guy, and almost paralyzed. And I think the way they make it different is that he actually dies. And his girlfriend or something tries to kill him during the final tournament. Just strolls up into the arena and just shoots at him with a gun. And then she gets knocked out and dies from that, getting punched in the face. And then the lead guy,
she gets punched in the face and dies.
Yeah, she falls backwards in the crowd and hits her head on a wall or something. Yeah, I was like, oh, she's dead. Okay.
All right.
And then the main guy was being his trainer was actually in cahoots with the main rival. So he was being played the whole time. So the actual final fight ends up being with against his coach. Yeah. So, but other than that, it's pretty much exactly like Bloodsport. It's the same beats. He's also being chased. He defected from something, so he's being chased by the authorities or something. Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah. Oh no, it's what was it? No, that was a different movie. Which one was it?
They just blend together.
Yeah, there's also this one I hadn't seen before. It's not a Van Damme one, but it's called Angel Town. I was curious about it because it's on the MVD throwback releases. It's this French dude who clearly they'd never filmed in France, but they make it seem like it. And he's like an exchange student, but he's also a world-class like kickboxer. And he's boarding with this Hispanic family. And they're in the middle of like a gang rivalry thing. And this out of town French guy just kicks all their asses and just stirs up more animosity. Like he's got the path of like, beat them up, but don't like choose peace, as much as you can. And it just escalates and escalates and escalates. As this gang tries to recruit the kid that lives at the house with his mom. And then the funniest part of the movie is like, this is like the first 2 minutes. He, before he leaves for America, he goes to a graveyard, which is in America, but it's, it's subtitled Paris, France. He's like, I think it's his dad. He's like at the gravestone saying like, hey dad, I made it, but in French. And then, this woman like drives up in a cab and then runs out into the graveyard and then runs up to him. She's like, don't go. And she's only wearing a trench coat. And she's like, don't go. Like, I still, want to be with you and everything. And then he's like, don't make this harder than it has to be. And she's like, what am I going to do with this? And then she like just undresses and they just do it right in the graveyard.
Okay.
In broad daylight. Yeah. It's like the first
What?
minute of the movie. So yeah, I had to get that nudity clause in there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. 80s action schlocky movies. They're incredible. It's just such nonsense sometimes.
Definitely a time where movies, action wise, would always do that. They had to have some nudity in it in between the fights or something.
Yeah. God, I can't remember. Like I watched so many just like Kickboxer 4s and 5s and Enter the Ninjas that are just like they all just blended together. Yeah, and there's just like random like, oh, maybe our characters go to a strip club, so that gets nudity in there. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, that is a staple of 80s action too. Is they walk through the strip club at some point.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's it for me, man.
I saw a couple things that I'll touch on briefly. I saw You Hurt My Feelings with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And it's really good. It's a movie about she is a writer and her husband is a therapist, and one day her and her sister are going to surprise her husband, and her sister's husband are at this store, and when they sneak up to him, he says that he doesn't like her new book, that it's awful. And after he told her forever that he really enjoyed it and that the publisher didn't get it. So it's a story about how two people who really love each other, been married a long time, now deal with this lie that he's been telling her for, a year or 2 years or whatever it is, took her to write this book. And the performances are incredible in it. It's not a movie where like a lot happens, quote unquote, but there's so much character moments and development that it's really good. And David Cross and Amber Tamblyn play a married couple that is in therapy, and it's really funny.
Nice. I just saw that guy.
Yeah. He's he's really funny in it. I don't want to spoil what he does at the one of the last therapy sessions, but it's really great. And it's I don't know, it's funny.
Was it about being a terrible dad? Because that's what his comedy show that I went to was about.
No, it's basically about how he and his wife hate each other and what they do, why they don't like each other. And then how they come to the realization at a therapy session. That's really funny. But it's one of those comedy dramas where you laugh, but there's also character growth in it. It's really good. And Like, I've been watching a lot of Julia Louis-Dreyfus stuff lately, and I stand by that she's one of the great comedians of all time. She's so funny, and she's so good in this movie. You should definitely see it if you have the opportunity. And the last thing I watched this week is Fast X, which is fucking awful. Like, I can't believe you even gave it like 3 stars. On my review of it on Letterboxd, I gave it 2 stars. I gave 1 star because Jason Statham and The Rock are in it. And then I gave another star for Jason Momoa. Everything else in it is fucking terrible. The writing is bad. The CGI is horrible. And they just it seems like it's half of it is all about Vin Diesel's ego too. I can't count how many like hero shots they had. And 3 or 4 times Momoa's character, Dante, talks about how cool Dom Toretto is or how great of a driver he is. And I'm just like, ugh, barf. It's just so bad.
Yeah, I didn't even mention it last time, but yeah, I was surprised this I don't think there's like a real car in the movie. Like, they're all CGI, I think.
Yeah, I know. And it's, or the part where he mentions that there's some things that I'm really not liking about some movie making now is at the beginning when Dom is with his kid and he's talking to him and giving him a driving lesson. Why the fuck is it on a green screen and in a studio? Like, it's just
safety.
And it's so what? But it's outside. It's more safe outside. I don't know. And then here, let me be Vin Diesel in this movie. I gotta save someone. And I don't know. I just didn't care about anybody in the movie.
How about his brother has like a different personality in this movie compared to the last one?
Yeah. And that he's like fun and is like a cool uncle. I'm like, wait, does his son even know who?
He's basically like Peacemaker in this movie.
Yeah. Like, he's fun, and then he decides that he's gonna sacrifice himself for
Which
a
I'm
brother
not buying
that
for a
a year
second.
ago. What's up?
Which I'm not buying for a second because you can actually see him like his body. So I definitely feel
Oh,
like
yeah,
he'll be
I mean,
back.
Oh yeah, Gal Gadot comes back, and I thought she was dead.
They're all
and then I
superheroes. They don't die.
And then when Cypher and Letty are being held for like medical reasons, and Cypher is able to use her hand on a touch screen on the side of a bed that will release anesthesia. And what the fuck is going on in this movie? Everything is just so convenient. Everything is poorly written. Or, his son jumps from a moving car because he remembers a lesson that he was told, and they're able to communicate through a radio that they, for some reason, that can get everybody's radio. It's just, everything's convenient about it, and it's stupid.
I like, at one point I fell asleep when they go to like the Pete Davidson part. And I literally thought I dreamed that at some point. I was like, was Pete Davidson really in this movie? Or was that something else I watched?
Yeah. And that's another part too. Like, so Pete Davidson's in it, and he's going to help him. And then he tells Han not to eat the muffins. And then Han does. And then he starts tripping for just like 20 seconds. And then it's never mentioned again.
It's just a gag. Yeah.
I
really gave like the higher score just because how great Momoa's performance is, because he really eats it up.
Oh yeah, no, he's awesome in it.
That part
he
where
knows exactly what kind of movie he's in.
There's 2 parts. There's one where he's like sitting with the corpses and he's like doing his nails, and like also like browsing the internet at the same time. Like, that's like such yeah, it's just so messed up. And then before that, when he's in Rome and he's about to destroy. He's like tracking the bomb or whatever, about to set it off. He's got like the 2 henchmen that he recruited from Charlize Theron's outfit, and he's like talking for them. So he's just like, oh, what? We're going to blow up the Vatican? Dude, that's messed up. You're going to hell.
Yeah, I know. Like, that stuff's awesome. And he did this little character beat too at the end, or near the end. He comes down from this like tower and he does like, he skips to his car, which I thought was really funny. Yeah, he's great at it. That's like I said. And Statham's cool for the 5 minutes he's in the movie. And then, The Rock's in it for like a minute, but that's it. That movie was fucking awful. But now I got to see the next one, because how is Dom and his son going to get away from the dam that's going to blow up?
I don't know.
Oh, man, hopefully they get out. Fuck.
Someone's airdrop another Dodge, whatever, and then they'll drive away. It'll be
and how did his car show up on that dude's airplane? What the fuck is that?
It'd be a Charger that turns into a boat or something. And they'll swim out of there.
Anywho. Next week is Transformers, I think. I don't know. So yeah.
I think it was supposed
Stay
to be
tuned for
The
that.
Flash, but we already saw that.
Yeah, well, The Flash is the following week.
Oh yeah. Strays or Transformers.
Yeah. But yeah. Thanks for listening. We'll see you at the movies.
Real nerd knows who shot a real nerd can follow the plot and a real nerd will give it all they got. Lights, camera, action. Real nerds.
Thanks for listening to Real Nerds Podcast, a Nebulous Visions production. Stream or download episodes, read articles at realnerdspodcast.com. Stream us on Apple or Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. Follow us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast, Twitter and Instagram at Real Nerds. Watch us on YouTube, Real Nerds Podcast. Email us at realnerds@gmail.com. Call us at 720-6nerds5. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill, Mike at Plan 9 Studios, and Bolognium for all of our groovy theme songs. And that's how you fucking do it!